Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Becca from Readings by the Empress doing an on-the-fly car reading. I haven't done these for a while. I just did one and I'm doing another. Okay, so I want to talk about Elon Musk. So Elon Musk came out with a ton of financial support for Trump's campaign. And he would like to be the head of the DOGE Department of Government Efficiency in Trump's administration. This is the plan. And when he talks about that, he's talking all about austerity principles for us, not for him, for us. Great cuts, because everything these like the postal system, the education system, the law enforcement system, all those systems have tons of waste. So we must cut. Okay, so in other words, he wants to kneecap these departments so they're no longer effective at all. They've already been cut a lot through the years since Reagan, but yeah. And he argues privatization would be more efficient. That old shtick. Now, it hasn't held up to the facts. For instance, Medicaid used to be run by the government in all states, and then I think it was the late 90s, there was a decision to pay private insurance companies to manage their Medicaid, the Medicaid in the states. And I remember I was working in the North Metro. I'm from Minnesota. I was working in the North Metro at the time, and I drove by so many skyscrapers going up for insurance companies. This one, they were everywhere. What had happened? This had happened. A lot of our tax dollars was going to insure private companies. Now, the idea was that, of course private companies can run things more efficiently than governmental agencies because they're motivated by profit. Not true, turns out, because while Medicare, which Medicare Part A, B, C, D, is still administered by a government agency, and 2 to 3% of our taxpayer dollars that go to Medicare go to its administration. Medicaid, administered by insurance companies, 15 to 17% of our tax dollars that go to those programs go to administration costs by the insurance companies. So it turns out what really happened is they just stole a whole bunch from the taxpayers. This does not work. The privatization of governmental departments, governmental functions does not work. Sure, there may be waste in government here, there, or other places. Cutting and slicing and dicing these departments is not going to work, not going to be good. It's interesting to me that seems to be the answer to the debt crisis. The economists are all worried about a debt crisis because the percentage of our yearly GDP that has to now go to paying interest on loans, on our debt, is getting higher and higher. And unfortunately, that also robs the U.S. citizens. So the answer to that debt bomb, that who knows when it's going to be too much. Already we've had countries whose debt has been so high that there's been economic collapse, there's been trouble, there's been a lot of money printing in those countries and outrageous inflation. We've already had some smaller countries in Europe, and then we've had Venezuela, of course, and Argentina's having troubles. So this is where all the countries, most of the countries, will be heading unless something is done. Now, I just realized I'm telling you things that probably scare the heck out of you. Source always tells me that there will be solutions. There will be actually solutions. Not to say it won't be turbulent, but there will be solutions. And they always show me some sort of a way of resetting things. I don't know how it goes, but I do know that there are scholars working on it. I am suspicious that the oligarchs fund the scholars. So we're going to have to be an educated public is what I'm saying, I guess. And I always see decentralization of people moving around systems that are less fair for them in the future. So anyway, I don't want to scare the heck out of you. But there is this debt crisis. Now, Warren Buffett has said, you know, he doesn't take advantage of all the tax loopholes he could, so he pays more taxes than most billionaires do. He has said if 8 of them, of the richest, wealthiest people in the U.S. would do that, then we wouldn't have such trouble. We'd have an answer, basically. Well, I don't know an answer. I don't know if I want to go that far. But, boy, that would really take up the tax burden. That would really help. Bill Gates has said, certainly, billionaires need to pay more taxes. But most of the oligarchs, most of these men are not saying this. So, it's interesting. Of course, Elon Musk does not see this as the answer. Does not see restoring the tax codes to what they were pre-Reagan as the answer. No. Oh, no. Of course not. How do we usher in the prosperity of the 50s and the 60s and first half of the 70s? How do we do it? I wonder, could it be if we had the same tax code then that we do now, it would return? Crazy, crazy thought. All right. Well, anyway, now that I've been very sarcastic, let us look to see. This stuff goes forward in some ways is the thing. Like, okay, so my guides always tell me that, no, Trump will not win. Yeah, tower. There's a lightning bolt at Trump Tower. Judgment falls. Judgment is falling on him. He will not win. That doesn't mean our problems are all gone, because I always feel like my intuition is telling me, of course, watch these agendas. Watch 2025 plan. That will go forward in some areas. People will be trying to push that forward, even though Kamala wins. Watch the idea of Doge, right? The austerity plans, because that is a force that has been moving forward. And how will it go? Will it pick up speed? We have the Three of Wands. Well, the ship comes in. We've just begun. People have just begun to put effort into that. These are wands, probably Democrat. A lot of times the wands have been Democrats in my readings, making some plans, have already tried to chip away at oligarchs' power to do this. Okay. 8 of coins, the working people. Working hard, I know. Death. What's that? Okay, I think this was supposed to be 3 cards, so let me look. And this is the Arcanum deck, by the way. 2 of Wands. So now this is like the World Explorer, but you know who this is? This is like a Christopher Columbus type World Explorer, right? It's sort of like, and we know how that went. So in this particular reading, I almost feel like it's indicating looking overseas which labor to exploit, you know? And the Death card and the 8 of coins. Yep, that fits. So here again with the information age and the fact that developing nations were able to skip right past landlines and have cell phones with the entire internet available, which, you know, I just think is the most amazing thing. This was an equalizer. See, this is how technology can be an equalizer. So what I'm seeing filled with electricity here is worldwide working people. Nobody minds working as hard as they can and as hard as is healthy to do so. But there's going to be the end. there's more organized labor, even in developing nations. This is what I'm seeing. There is going to be more, we're not doing that. We're just not doing that. We're not working and working and working for peanuts. And, you know, the man in the 8 of coins card is wearing threadbare clothing. You know, he's looking pretty shabby in the Rider-Waite-Smith. So, again, the force of decentralization and people being able to make money without having to work for somebody. The Affordable Care Act helped to do that because we no longer have to work for an employer to have a health insurance if we have a pre-existing condition. You know, we don't have to just hope that some insurance company will sell us health insurance at an exorbitant rate if we have a pre-existing condition. We don't have to do that because of the Affordable Care Act. So this is why the oligarchs hate these kinds of things, and this is what I see. I do see Democrats continuing to make laws here, there, to allow a way for people to get around. They're not going to solve all our problems. They still have limited power in our government, let's be honest. But to make a way, we can have more power. We can have more power, and our elected officials can have more power if we get more involved. In this election, we are more involved, so this is good. But they make there's little decisions for us to make a way around control by the oligarchs. So I keep on seeing these two forces sort of battling it out, and which is going to win. And my guides always tell me the force of decentralization is going to win. Individual autonomy, you know, the ability for people to make their own decisions, live the way that fits for them. Yeah, live the way, but live responsibly as well. Live responsibly, live morally. Yes. We're going to come to the place where all of us can see issues in people's personalities. You know, narcissistic personality disorder has never been more publicized since Trump, right? We're going to get to the place where all of us can see, we're so well educated, we can see our own and we can see others' issues. And in fact, I believe that eventually we get to the place where everybody's treated with, like they're valued, even if they're sick. You know what I mean? It's just, have to ask what kinds of interventions are needed, what kind of help is needed here. And some people, the public needs to be protected from that. And that must be part of it, perhaps. But individual rights, I see individual rights being just the rallying cry for groups and nations in the many years to come. So, anything else? Oh, this is on the bottom. The World card. Yes. And more in common. Now, I don't want to be Pollyanna. Like, this is we're going to have lots of things disrupted. Industries disrupted. I did a video on that, and I'll be putting it up. Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff. But this is our narrow miss, you guys. This is our narrow miss, this election, with the old guard's efforts at control not being able to dominate. This election is going to be our near miss of that, because the only way they can keep the power that they have at this point is controlling government, controlling the people, ever more control. And you know where that goes. You know, that goes, if we can't resist that, if we don't miss that, that does not go in a good place. But this is our near miss. This is it. This is it. This election. And it's the last gasp. The old guard, the old power structures will not be able to gain that level of control. Temperance angel, okay. And again, okay, you're still going to hear unwelcome news sometimes. Sometimes my guides are like, Yes, this is true. See, there's the hope card right at the bottom of the deck. Yes, be hopeful. But sometimes the guides are also saying, but please, please let them know that this is a very gradual process. And we're still going to hear upsetting news. And it's okay to be upset. And it's okay to be vocal about it. Because that's how things change, right? It's not going to magically happen. So everybody who's involved and voting and speaking and using their voice and doing work out there for the disenfranchised, for the vulnerable, for rights for everybody, you are an angelic force on earth. You really are. So I wanted to end with that. And I thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.